My kicker tonight is inspired by the blistering Twitter timeline of General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, a senior member of the Ugandan military and son of Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni. For those who may not know, General Muhoozi, a soldier by career, uses Twitter like a shooting range. And without doubt, he loves rapid fire and certainly prefers a constantly pressed trigger. In the Twitter shooting range, Kenya and Kenyans seem a favorite target of Muhoozi, and the shooting gives Muhoozi and quite a sizable number of Kenyans quite a kick. I took an interest on General Muhoozi's tweets for two reasons. First, to establish whether he raises any substantive issues about Kenyans and Kenya. And secondly, because I consider Muhoozi a consequential figure, not just because he is the son of the president, but because, barring miracles, and there are very few political miracles in Uganda, Muhoozi could well be the successor of his father Museveni as president of Uganda. Now, let's get down to Muhoozi's tweets. When goons descended on Northlands last week, the Ugandan general was not amused and he fired a tweet, quote, "My big brother's farm was attacked by hooligans the other day. We will send the Ugandan People Defense Forces, UPDF, to protect him. We will beat those hooligans to a pulp." End of quote. Moments later, Muhoozi updated the timeline and that he requested Mzee, that is President Museveni, to deploy 200 UPDF soldiers with him, Muhoozi, as the officer commanding OC at the Northlands, but Mzee refused. Then Muhoozi crowed. I told him that Kenyans need a good beating. He refused. End of quote. Now, Northlands is Kenya's latest humiliating entry to Muhoozi's Twitter feed. And this time, it really cut close, considering the obvious mocking of what should be considered a moment of domestic national embarrassment that was the security breach at a property associated not with one, but two former presidents of the Republic of Kenya. I call it humiliating because Uganda really doesn't have lessons to share on how to treat former presidents or their properties. And even worse, Uganda does not have a single living former president. But Muhoozi's offer to protect former President Uhuru Kenyatta should not just be taken for the top-range mockery it was, but for the fun it pokes at the obvious lapses on the body of our statehood. Whatever your political affiliation or even tribe as a Kenyan, Northlands was a very bad show. It was clumsy, untidy, reckless, and truly short-sighted. When Muhoozi proposes to deploy 200 Ugandan soldiers, it should be found embarrassing because foreign interventions are reserved for failed states. Just imagine the sight of Ugandan soldiers in Gatongora Ward, Ruiru constituency. That's shameful, isn't it? On Northlands, Muhoozi got us good. But thank heavens, it was only a tweet. Just another tweet, I should say, considering his previous Twitter threat to march on Nairobi in under 2 weeks and set up base at Riverside or Westlands. The ridiculous margins of Muhoozi's tweets aside, I think the Ugandan first son should start getting Kenyans to give a thought to some of the perceptions our neighbors hold about us. Because of what they see us do, I think they consider us a powerhouse on the decline. I think they see us as increasingly weak and progressively small. I think they consider us and our politics and elections chaotic and unnecessarily highly inflammable. I think they consider our governance increasingly formless and disposed to domestic petty political trivialities. I don't think they consider us the big picture guys of the years gone by. I don't think they even consider us a regional model anymore. They think we sound, act, and look small as time progresses. A few years ago, in an interview, I pressed Muhoozi's father, President Museveni, over the brutal conduct of his security forces in the streets of Kampala. Here is that interview.
Thank you.
And we begin this interview by having a look at a clip of some of the recent developments in Uganda. Here it is.
Arrest if you want. Nobody has a right to stop me from going to earn. Nobody feeds me. Take him there. Yes. Take him. You will fight.
Now, Mr. President, many people have compared what we've just seen with what used to happen during the years of Idi Amin. How does it make you feel when comparisons are made between your style of rule and that of President Idi Amin Dada?
Well, it just shows that you are not serious. You, who is reporting all this, because you didn't show when the people were stoning the police or when they were attacking vehicles. Cars were destroyed in Kampala, damaged, but you don't show it there.
Now, at the time, I thought some of the images playing out on the streets of Kampala were inconceivable here in Kenya. Well, until last week. That was Eastlands, Nairobi. To that, and from Eastlands to Westlands and on to Northlands, Muhoozi could well tweet, "Tuko pamoja." That is my kicker.